on the how to turn Friday into Erev Shabbos. And we're going to go now to, last week we discussed Challah, and this week is the new topic. The rabbis and the Shulchan Aruch, the Magen Avram brings this down. He says it's a mitzvah on Erev Shabbos to taste all the food that you cook for Shabbos. And the Magen Avram specifically says you should taste each and every dish that you're going to be serving on Shabbos. And this is based on the teachings of the Arizal. It's mystical teachings. And there is a hint to this idea. And when the Arizal says it's a hint, it means it's a very deep message over here. And the hint is in the Musaf Shmona Esrei. The Musaf Shmona Esrei, in the middle of the Shmona Esrei, is the prayer of Tikanto Shabbos Ratzisa Korban Asel. You established the Sabbath, found favor in the offerings, instructed regarding its commentaries along with the order of the showbreads. And then he says, those who delight in it will inherit eternal honor. And then, one second, let's get it right. Then it says, To'ameha Chaim Zochu. Those who taste it will merit life. To'ameha Chaim Zochu. Those who taste it will merit life. So he says, this is the hint. This is the hint. As it's talking about, Hashem made the Shabbos. The Shabbos was for bringing korbanos, for bringing showbreads. Those who delight in it will have honor. Those who savor it, those who toamel, those who taste it, Chaim Zoch will merit life. So therefore, you should taste the food.
The food or the
Well, he's saying the hint. There's a hint here. I mean, literally, the prayer is saying, it's talking about the Shabbos.
Yeah.
Hashem, you established the Shabbos. And you found favor in its offerings, and you instructed about that. You also instructed about the showbreads. So those who delight in the Shabbos will inherit eternal honor. Those who savor the Shabbos will merit life. Okay? So, therefore, how do you taste the Shabbos? So you taste the food of Shabbos. So therefore, that's the Arizal. So therefore he says, it's a hint. It's not the simple meaning of the pasuk, obviously not. But it's a hint, the fact that you should taste the food on Erev Shabbos, each and everything that is being cooked. There's chicken soup, the cholent, everything. And that's making an assumption that the food is ready before Shabbos, of course. But that's what you should have. Now, the rabbis then try to understand the reason for this. Why do we do this on Erev Shabbos? So there's three reasons that is brought. Reason number one, it's to honor the Shabbos. If you invite a king to your home for dinner, and you're having your wife cook the meal, or you're going to cook the meal, you're going to be tasting and make sure it's absolutely perfect in honor of the king. You're not going to give the king lousy food. How are you going to know if the food's good? What does every good chef do? Every good chef tastes the food, right? That's number one. Number two, to taste the food is to make it proper that you will enjoy the food. Because once it's Shabbos, you can't always make the corrections, because there could be some prohibited activities involved in adding spices or things like that. It depends. So on Shabbos, you can still fix it up and make sure that you have proper meals on Shabbos. A third reason that is given is to keep shalom bayis in the house. If the wife makes, or whoever is in charge of making the food, makes a bad meal, the other people in the family will not be happy and will vocalize their unhappiness, and it can cause all kinds of fights in the house. And on Shabbos, we try to minimize any possibilities of problems. And therefore, we want to make sure the food is proper. Those are the three reasons that are given. And so that really should be done. We see that many people don't do it. Don't taste the food. So the rabbis want to figure out, why don't people do it? The Arizal says it's something you should do every year of Shabbos. So to judge favorably those who don't, they say they trust their wives.
That's correct.
The wife is tasting it. Wife is tasting it. Good enough for me. And
people have different tastes.
That's all.
That's true. So, but then everyone still has to taste. You know, it's not,
I mean,
it's not
if
just
you
a
tell
question
your wife
of...
that she's not good, this what she's not going to be that happy.
Yeah. So anyway, some say the way. But others say, really, you should do this. And those who want to follow the custom properly, what you do is, when you taste these foods, you say the mantra, Tohameha Chaim Zochu.
Now, this is a custom, not a halacha or anything like that.
Again, it's if you want to be able to be prepared for the Shabbos properly, this is what we tell you to do. You know, again, it's not one of the 613 commandments, but it's do you want to make something nicer or not nice? You want to be able to appreciate the Shabbos more or not? So,
what's the meaning of the mantra?
Again, Toameha Chaim Zochu. Right here, page 406, the Art Scroll Siddur, third line. Toameh, those who taste it, Chaim Zochu, merit life. Or you can say it in English. Those who taste it, merit life. And the rabbis bring down, those who eat the food on Erev Shabbos will merit long life. Will merit long life. So it's not a bad thing to do. Right? So now we want to understand deeply what is behind this custom. Just like we explained about the challah last week. You don't have to make your own challah, but we showed the benefits of making your own challah. So now we're talking about the benefits of eating the food on Erev Shabbos. But that, you know, that is a good custom that one should follow. Again, if one is able to do it, why shouldn't one do it? In other words, the question has to be, you know, why not do it? If you're going to say it's hard, how hard is it to taste some food? And Friday afternoon, you know, go over to the cholent pot, have a spoon of cholent, have a little piece of potato cocoa, a little bit of the soup.
You told us earlier, a couple of weeks ago, that one should build up an appetite.
So you're right. So we're not telling you to. We just said take a taste.
That's dangerous.
We're not telling you to have 4 pieces of kugel, 3 helpings of cholent. You know, a taste. As they say, a fazich. Right? You take a spoon. You take a spoon out of the cholent. No one's going to get full on a spoon of cholent and a spoon of kugel and a spoon of, you know, whatever's going to be there. But it says you taste each one. Each one should have a taste of each one. All right. So let us get into this topic now. Now, first thing, if you want, so what is the real concept going on over here? There's a question of tasting something. So if we want to appreciate this custom, we have to go to the root. If you want to know the root and basis of anything, you have to look to the time when the Torah talks about this concept. So we have to look where in the Torah does the Torah mention the idea of tasting something, having taste, and tasting something. We're not talking about eating in the Torah. We're not talking about eating. We're talking about the first time where it talks about a taste of food.
Jacob brings the meal to his father, right? Yeah, Isaac.
He brings the meal to his father, but he doesn't describe the taste of the food. We're talking where food is described in its taste.
Yeah, but everybody might have a different taste.
Doesn't matter. I just want to know the source in the Torah. Where does the Torah talk about the taste of food? Now, if you want to know about food and the taste, he says, make me food the way I like it. But it doesn't describe the taste of the food.
Well, he had to taste it to make sure it.
No.
Okay.
Where it is a clear, not a. Okay. You know, obviously, if a person eats food, he's going to taste it. No, the Torah clearly delineates a taste of something.
But he claims that Isaac would make this soup or whatever he's having, a stew, a special way with certain spices.
Doesn't matter. It's not described in the Torah.
Okay.
And the specific taste is certainly not described. I know it's close, but no cigar. Okay? It's not describing the taste.
Okay, Abraham. Maybe Abraham, when he goes and tells his wife to make it special.
No, just says he just says to go make breads.
Go make what?
Go make bread.
No, he tells
Knead the dough.
What about the cooking of the rest of it?
No, it's no description of the taste.
No description there, eh?
So the answer is...
wait a minute, we've got to have one more guess.
2 places in the Torah on the same topic.
All right.
2 places in the Torah, once in the book of Parshas B'Shalach, and then later in the book of Bamidbar, on the same topic, the description of something tasting.
What time tasted like all the different foods, the manna.
Oh, that's good, but that's not a Torah source. That's a medrash. You're getting close. That's a medrash that says that. But indeed it is the man, though. But not in that context. But if you look in the book of Shemos, Parshas B'Shalach, Perek Tesayin, Pasuk Lamed Aleph, the pasuk says the house of Israel called it manna. It was like coriander seed. It was white. And then it says, V'ta'amo kitzapichis bidvosh. And it's tasted like a cake fried in honey. Clear, the Torah is describing the taste of the man. It tasted like a cake fried in honey. This could be the biblical source of all the various baklavas that the Sephardim make, which is clearly cake fried in honey.
Yeah. Wasn't it the taste of anything you wanted?
But that's a medrash. That's a medrash.
Oh.
I'm telling you what the Torah says. Torah, this is clearly telling you what something tasted like.
They got tired of that taste, though. It
Now,
didn't represent the taste
if we
of,
go to the book of Bamidbar,
Yeah.
Perek Yud Aleph Pasuk Ches, it tells us when the Jews did get sick of the man.
Yeah.
But it still told us what it tasted like.
Well, it tasted like anything they wanted.
No, it's not what the Torah says.
No, it doesn't say that?
Everyone likes to remember the medrash and forget the pasuk.
Oh, that's the medrash, okay.
The Jews said, oh, our life is parched. There's nothing, we have nothing to anticipate but the manna. Who will feed us meat? We remember the fish that we ate in Egypt, free of charge, the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. The man did not taste like those things.
I see.
It didn't taste like garlic and onions because there's negative side effects to it. But then the Torah says what they did do. The people would stroll and gather it and grind it in a mill and pound it in a mortar and cook it in a pot or make it into cakes. And then it says, V'hoya ta'amo kita'am lishad hashaman. And its taste was like the taste of dough kneaded with oil. So we have two descriptions of the man. Fried dough with what? Honey, and dough mixed with oil. This is clear description of the man. It's the only place in the Torah where a food's taste is described.
Can I ask one little question?
Okay, clear?
One little question, though. But
Yeah.
One little question is, they did have sheep and they did have animals. Why did they not eat them at that time?
That's a side question.
I know, but I'm just wondering.
Okay, but I don't want to do that.
Okay.
We can leave that for when we do Parshas, that Parsha.
Okay.
But it's a side question. Why they didn't want that?
But it's relative to what they're saying. in there.
Maybe after I explain everything,
Okay.
you'll be able to figure out the answer on your own. When I explain the point, then you'll be able to figure out what. Because the bigger question is, why did they not want the manna? Why did the Jews complain not want the manna? It's good food. Why did they not want it?
What was the taste?
Had no variety.
Well, hang on. Hang on. So now, there's a Gemara, and Yoma says, seems to be a contradiction, because there's a third verse that says that the manna was lechem min hashamayim, bread from the heavens. So the Rabbi says, so what did it taste like? Did it taste like bread? Did it taste like oil? Or did it taste like honey? Torah keeps giving different descriptions. More answers. For the young lads, it tasted like bread. For the old people, it tasted like oil. And for the babies, it tasted like honey. Be that as it may, we see that if we want to understand the concept of taste, understand what is it all about, what is the concept of taste? What things do we taste? When do we taste? What's the spiritual significance of taste? We have to understand it first in the source, by the man. We have the discussion of taste of man. If the Torah wants to understand the function of taste, we have to understand a little bit more the story of the man, where it talks about taste. That's the root of all taste. Okay. Also, you're right, the Medrash also says it tasted like anything you wanted. It tasted like anything you wanted. So it tasted like anything you wanted. That's amazing. That's amazing. And the rabbis say, therefore, clearly if it tasted like everything you wanted, then the root of any possible taste in the world has to be understood in the context of the man. It wasn't the man that tasted like 2 or 3 things. If it was only like the Bible says, either oil or honey or bread, that can't be the root of all tasting, because it's a lot more taste beyond that. But if the medrash, that's why the medrash is adding, it tastes like anything you wanted, mamish, anything you wanted, then, well, any taste we taste today must have been tasted in the man. Anything you wanted. So that needs some explanation. Okay, now, take a little look at the board. Those of you who are watching the program are not going to see the board. I don't think it's going to be close enough. But if you look over here, right here, you have 3 letters. Tes, Ayin, Mem spells the word ta'am. Ta'am. Ta'am means taste. Okay, you got to know that word. That's the Hebrew word for the day. Ta'am. That's what they have, that's why they're called, the little cracker is called tom-toms. Well, those are the most famous Jewish cracker in the history of the world. Everybody call them tam-tams.
When they say you're getting sick of the tamfuntites.
But, you know what tam-tams are? They never have them in South Africa.
So when you say the food has no tom?
You go to every Jewish, the first Jewish cracker in North America was tam-tams.
Okay.
They're like hexagon-shaped crackers. So really, they're really tom-toms. Because that means taste. They're tasty. Tom. Anyway, the concept, what does it mean? What does it mean in Hebrew? You got to go with the Hebrew, not the English. We don't look at the word taste. We look at the word ta'am. Ta'am is the word we're analyzing here. The mitzvah is ta'am, to taste the food on Erev Shabbos. So what is the concept of ta'am? So we find there's 4 aspects of ta'am. Number 1, there's ta'am in relation to food. Food can be bitter, it can be sweet, it can be sour, it could be salty. Those are the primary tastes that it has. So food can have a different taste. That's a ta'am, the ta'am of food. Then there's something called the ta'am of intellect. For example, we know we have mitzvos to do. There are rabbis who sat down and they gave us what they call the ta'amei ha-mitzvos, the taste of the mitzvahs. Which isn't just a taste, it means the reason for the mitzvahs. If we say, why do we put on tefillin? Why do we put on? Of course the answer God told us. But the rabbi said, no, but there's a reason behind it. It does something for you. Something spiritual goes on and will explain to you what feelings you should have, what's happening when you do this mitzvah. So they didn't call it the reason of the mitzvahs, which would have been like the svara, the logic of the read. It calls the word ta'amei ha-mitzvos, the taste of the mitzvahs. Why? Because, taking a mitzvah, doing a mitzvah can either be done in a happy, pleasant, tasty way, or you could do a mitzvah begrudgingly, right? So when is it going to taste better, the mitzvah, if you understand why you're doing it? I want to understand why am I davening? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting on tefillin? Why am I learning Torah? So the rabbi sat down and they said, to the best of our understanding, this is the ta'am, the taste of the mitzvah. It makes the mitzvah taste good. If food doesn't taste good, how much do you eat? Little. Why? Because I want it to taste good. If it doesn't taste good, I'm not going to eat it. So food has to taste good, so mitzvahs have to taste good. I'm not going to do a mitzvah that doesn't taste good, so we're going to give you a good taste. What does that mean? We're giving you the reason behind it. And the reason for anything in life is called the taste. It's a taste because it's something we are able to digest. Can digest this instruction. If you give me the reason why, I can digest it. Just tell me why, and then I can do it better. That's the second type of taste. Third type of taste is music. What do we mean? In Hebrew, what do we call the notes? The cantillation notes over the letter. Mapach, pashtos, akef, katon. Hashem el Moshe. What's that tune? That is called ta'amei dekra. The taste of the text. Literally, the taste of the text. But it really means the cantillation of the text. Again, if I would just read the verses without any tune, it wouldn't sound great. It'd be boring. So you have the up, the down, and the this and that. It's a symphony of text. It's beautiful. It enriches it. Gives the text flavor and vitality. It's enjoyable to read it when you read it that way. It's really the punctuation comes out of that. Feeling comes out of that. So we have a tom of music. And of course people who play terrible music, very poor players, it has no tom, has no taste. No one wants to listen to it.
Tell me, in the Torah, the cantillations, are they in the Torah?
They're not in the Sefer Torah that's given over.
Who made that?
Hashem told Moshe how to read it.
Oh.
He told us how to read it.
There's a reason why they're so specific. Why is there not improvisation?
Can't. It fits into the text. Just like when you talk, certain ways you talk, you don't say in a certain tone. You don't scream to a person and yell at a person that I love you. The tone doesn't match the words, does it? So the text needs a tone, a cantillation that suits the message of the text. There's very deep ideas in all this, but it's specific. You don't put a comma in the wrong place in a sentence, do you? I went with Mark and Susan to the store last week, and this one. Well, I didn't punctuate it properly. It doesn't sound good, does it? So if the music notes are not proper, then it doesn't sound good. That's a third type of taste. And then there's a final one less known. It's preceded with a mem. It's called a mitam. A mitam. And what is that? It's sourced a few places. One of them is the book of Jonah, where when Jonah said in 40 days the city's going to be overturned, so the king got up and made an edict. Everyone has to do tshuva. So the text says that it was called out in Nineveh, mita'am hamelech, from the decree of the king. So there's a fourth expression. The root ta'am means a decree. That's what the Torah calls it. Can't argue. It's a decree. So we have four types of ta'am. Now it comes out really, even though it's four types, it's really two categories. Because why? As we'll see in a minute, some of them have taste, and some tastes don't really have a taste. What? We'll have to explain what that means. But you should also know one other thing that's interesting. You could have tastes that conflict with each other. What do I mean? Let's say you have food that tastes really good. Really good. If you go to Montreal, right, they may serve you poutine. They may serve you poutine, which is, to my understanding, a type of a French fry that's soaked in the cheese and oil, and it's really supposed to be great. Tastes great. But it's extremely unhealthy. It'll shoot your cholesterol levels through the roof. Right? So on the one hand, in terms of food, it has a great taste. But in terms of intellect, the intellect says, this is terrible for you. Intellectually, you're saying, I can't eat this stuff. It's garbage. So you can have tastes conflict with each other. The physical realm, the intellectual realm can conflict. It's an important concept to realize. So now that we got these four types of tastes, we should really know that the first three fit into one category, and the second one is a totally different category. Why? For a number of reasons. First of all, the first three, we all understand the taste. Food tastes good. It's easy for me to digest. The logic makes sense. It's easy for me to internalize. The music sings well. It's easy for me to hear it. And that's what you want to have. When we talk about a decree of a king, the king says, you're going to do this. Why? Because I said so. I don't have time to explain to every commenter all the details behind these decisions that I make. I can explain to you how we had a $25 billion debt in this country for good reasons, and now we have to start raising taxes to pay that, and this and that. And you want to know reasons for everything. The king says, I'm not going to tell you. You know what you're doing? You're doing because I said so. Finished. Now, that's also a reason, but it's not a very tasty reason. You do it or I'll chop your head off, throw in the dungeon. That's the reason. Oh, that doesn't taste good, that reason. But we'll see, it works really a little bit different, more than that. These 3 has a great variety. Taste is a variety of tastes. It's a variety of logics. It's a variety of notes. When we get to this world, the realm of the decree, the mita'am, there isn't a lot of variety. As a matter of fact, there's really uniformity, and there's only one root per se to this. When you're listening to the king because he says so, it's not a lot of taste. It's one taste, a taste that you don't understand. Now, to give you an example of such a thing, where it's possible that a number of things can have the same taste. We know when God cursed the snake. What was the curse of the snake?
You have no legs. You crawl on the ground.
What else?
Eat dust.
Eat the dust. What does it mean, eat the dust? What does it really mean? It doesn't eat the dust. What does it really do? Everything would taste like dust. That means whatever he eats a steak sandwich, tastes like dust. He eats a mouse, tastes like dust. Eats some luscious grapes, tastes like dust. It all tastes the same. So you see, there's a concept, there's a realm where everything can taste, have a uniformity of taste. We're not saying good or bad, I'm just giving an example. See, by the snake, everything tastes the same. So in this realm of the fourth realm of the mita'am, where you do it because the king says so, there is a great uniformity of that taste. But that taste that you do as the king says, it doesn't change. He could tell you 50 different things, it still tastes the same. It's not like 50 mitzvahs where I can look into the reasons and every mitzvah tastes differently. Tefillin, when I get into the reasons, tefillin tastes different than talis. Talis tastes different than eating matzah. Matzah tastes different than blowing shofar. These are all different tastes. Tastes good. King says, do it. First he says, pay more taxes. Then he says, you go to the army. Then he says, you have to, do this. It could be different things, but they all have the same taste.
But he has advisors. The advisors are giving him different...
Doesn't matter. We're not caring about the advisors. Give him all kinds of reasons. That's fine. But when it comes out from the king as a decree, people deal with it. What? We do what we're told. We don't argue. And it has one bland taste.
Okay.
Do as you're told. It's a taste, but it's the same taste every day, even if it's a different thing to do. It's the same taste every day. So we've got a world of various tastes, and then we've got a world of the same taste. Now, we will show you shortly that the source of these three is this. The source of the various tastes of food, intellect, and music really is based on a decree of the king, which is uniform source, which we will explain.
The king of God.
Well, obviously. We'll explain. So now let's go to the mun. Let's get back to the mun. And we said that the mun had a lot of taste. The mun had a lot of taste. On the simple level, the rabbis say, well, it tastes like anything you want it to taste like, right? What if you weren't thinking when you were eating it? You weren't thinking. Well, that's what the other Gemara is saying. If you were a young man, it tasted like bread. If you're an old man, it tasted like oil. If you're a little kid, it tasted like what do you call it? Like honey. Okay, there were tastes. But there's something even a greater taste than that. And now these are all various tastes, all over the place. Every taste, you imagine a tree, this is my little tree on the bottom, but you can't see it so well. A tree's got many branches all over the place. You could have millions of branches. And you could have millions of different tastes, all kinds of tastes, intellectual tastes, food tastes, every kind of taste, music tastes, everything's different. But they all come from one root. And that root is a uniform taste. That root doesn't change. What is this uniform taste? King David said it very well. King David said the following words in chapter 34, verse 9 in Psalms. He says, Ta'amu u're'u, taste and see, Ki tov Hashem, that Hashem is good. taste and see that Hashem is good. How do you understand that? What does that mean? Well, basically, he's saying, look around the entire world, and there's so many different things in this world, and there's so many different stimuli in this world, and they all give you a taste. And this morning you had a cup of coffee, right? A vanilla-flavored coffee.
Don't you know?
And it was nice and warm, and it went down so beautifully. So you could say, well, it has a great taste, that coffee. Why did you drink that coffee? It has a great taste. No question about it. But that's a branch. And then you had some scrambled eggs. Had another nice taste. Had a bagel. Another good taste. Good. You're listening to a shiur. The class was interesting. Had a lot of good taste. But they all come from one root taste. The root taste is Tam U'Ra'u. Taste and see Ki Tov Hashem, that Hashem is good. There's a taste that there's an Almighty, a Creator of heaven and earth, who loves you and wants to have a relationship with you. How many different tastes is that root taste? It's one. Hashem is one. He doesn't taste sour. He doesn't taste bitter. He doesn't taste clever. Here's what he is. He is the Mitam, the king who gives the decrees. He's the one who tells you how to live your life. God does tell you how to live your life. He gave you a Torah, and the Torah tells you how to live your life. And that's fine. And now this mitam, as we will see shortly, has a taste. And the taste may not be a taste that you're accustomed to. Let's call it that. And it's not a taste that's, has different tastes every day of the week. It's the same taste. Let me give you an example that has nothing to do with this, but you'll see what I'm getting at, and you'll see the point. It'll make it easier to understand this point. Well, I'll give you two examples. Example number one, let's say a parent. A parent has 10 children, let's say. Right? Each one of the 10 children are totally different from each other. Totally different. This one like this, one like that, this, that. But what's the root of each child? The parent's DNA. Do they all have the father's DNA? Absolutely, they all have the father's DNA. That's the root. Without the father, he wouldn't be here. Without a father, you no kids. Right? Now, and each one has the same DNA from the father. Right? And there ain't no logic to it. That's the way it is, man. That's what you got. Now, you may have created your own taste in the way you develop your own personal life, but they all have the same DNA. Same thing, there's all kinds of different tastes in this world, but they all are coming from the Almighty. He's the Father of all tastes. Everything you taste, you had a good coffee? So really the deeper taste, I don't know how you describe vanilla. I don't know how to describe it, but however it tastes, it's distinct. It tastes like vanilla. Okay. Was it good? It was really good. But now there's a deeper taste that you can't taste, but you can taste it. Tamru, taste and see. Ki tov Hashem, that Hashem is good. You got to taste that Hashem is good when you drink that coffee. That's the root. You may not taste it. You may not have tasted it today. But the deeper taste of it is that taste. Tamru, taste and see, because Hashem is good. That's what you get out of a coffee. You go to a concert and they play beautiful notes and it gives you pleasure. Well, God gave the musician the brains to do that. Tamaru, taste and see, because Hashem is good.
And if you taste it, it's not good, it doesn't taste good, then
everything has a taste. Even if poison tastes bad, it's a good thing too. It means you don't eat it. Right? But Tamaru, and that's what we talked about in the Parsha class with Yitzchak on Tuesday, that even when things don't appear to be good, it's also good for you, right? You remember we talked about Yitzchak, that he's blind and all that. Even when chesed alone isn't good enough, you have to have judgment as well. So, sometimes you got to taste the punishment. It's also good. Because you should know, God loves you too. Tamru, taste and see. Ki tov Hashem, that Hashem is good. But let me give you another example that'll even make it clear. And I've described this a couple times before, but it bears repeating. So there are I did it with you once, Aubrey, years ago. You'll remember. It's more than 10 years ago.
No.
Right? So we had a group of people in the room. So I took a couple that was relatively newly married, a couple that was married about 10 to 15 years, and a couple that was married many, many years. So I asked them, can you tell me, do you love your wife? Yes. Okay. Can you tell me why you love your wife? So the newlywed, he had a whole list. He says, oh, she's so nice to me. She has a good sense of humor. She's a good cook. She's pleasant to look at. She helps in the house. All slew of reasons. Then we came to the couples married, 10 to 20 years. There was clearly less reasons. I don't know if you remember this. Then I come to Aubrey, and Aubrey's getting nervous. He says, I don't have a reason. So initially, he felt a little bit nervous, like, what's going on? The guy who just got married has got so many reasons why he loves his wife, and I can't think of one reason I love my wife. But then as we proceeded with the class, that was just the grab to get people to see what's going on over here. But really what we were describing was a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, love that depends on something else, if that something else is lost, so too the love is lost. But a love that does not depend on anything, it can never be lost, because it doesn't depend on anything. What is a love that depends on something? An example of that was the love of Amnon and Tamar. Amnon loved Tamar because she was beautiful. Strictly because she was beautiful. That's the only reason he loved her. After he raped her, he had nothing to do with her. So once the beauty was of no importance, he didn't need her anymore. A love that doesn't depend on anything, that's David and Jonathan, the son of Shaul.
Yeah.
That was a love. They didn't get anything from that. There was no ulterior motive for that love, and it lasted forever. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, the truth is, when a young man says to a woman, I love you, and here's the 10 reasons I love you, what he really is saying is, I love myself. I don't love you. I love myself. And you know why, and you happen to serve all the things that I need. It's not that I love you, I just like what you provide for me. But there isn't any real love between me and you, because really we've said that the Jewish definition of love is not infatuation, it's not emotion. The Jewish definition of love, we said love, ahava, has the numerical value of 13, which is the same value as the word echad, means one. Love means being at one with somebody. Being totally at one with that person. That's what love means. A young couple, they're not at one. They're very far from being at one. But so why do I like being around this person? Why does this person, why do I want to have her around? Because she provides for me. So really I love myself. Guess what? Anybody who provides for me, I'm happy to have them in my life. But I don't love you. I don't love you. I like getting what I want. So I'm selfish. So I like people who enable me to be selfish. And that's how all marriages begin. Don't be upset about it. But every single marriage is based on that. And it has to be that way, because there's no other reason for you to pick this person as opposed to somebody else. That's how it starts. Mitoch shelo lishma, ba lishma. You start for not altruistic reasons, you'll eventually get to altruistic reasons. So when you're first married, why do you marry this person? Because look at all the things she can do for me. Then as you get married longer and you begin to share experiences, then you start to develop a oneness. And all of a sudden those reasons become less important. Then hopefully over a long period of time, then there is no reason to love that person, because that person is you. You're one with that person. So similarly, newlywed, why do you love her? Oh, she gives me so many tastes. I get a taste of her humor, a taste of this, a taste of that. It's a lot of pleasure I'm getting from this. She's giving me pleasure. Lots of tastes. And different tastes. But then after time, there's only one taste. And it's not even a taste that has a reason anymore. You know what it is? It's a mitam. It's a decree. He said, yeah, I can't live without her. What do you mean you can't? What do you mean I can't live without her? What do you mean? She'll die, we'll find another one to replace. No, it doesn't go that way. Well, we'll find somebody, a better model, a younger model, runs better, runs smoother. So what are you talking about? It's irreplaceable. Well, explain it. I can't. Can you explain it? Can you explain it with words? You can't explain it. It's a decree. That's it. And what's the taste? It's the same taste every day. It's a unified taste that really has no taste. Do you understand? You can't say, oh, I love my wife because she tastes like vanilla. I love it because she does this. It can come to the point where the spouse is a total drain on the other one. Let's say one spouse gets sick, right? So from a practical point of view, if that spouse, 50 years earlier, if he would have been that sick when he went on a date with you, you wouldn't go out. You wouldn't marry him. The guy says, listen, I want you to know I have heart disease, I have lung problems, I have this problem, I have that problem. Before you get married, would you take the person? Probably not. Now what happened? You're married 50, 60 years, you got all those problems. Then why don't they say, get out of here, I'm going to go to the new showroom and get a younger one. Finished. The answer is no, but why? Is there a logic to it? Is there a logic to it? There's no logic in it. There's no logic. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't have any taste. Not the taste that normal people appreciate. It's a taste that you appreciate. And it's quote unquote, pardon it, it's a boring taste. Quote unquote boring. As opposed to exciting and brand new and this and that. It's the same old taste for the last 60 years. But you know what? You wouldn't replace it for anything. And anybody hears you talking, they don't know what you're saying. They don't understand what you're saying, and what you're saying doesn't make any sense to them. To them. Right? So, what did you have? You had a lifetime of all these different tastes, but finding all those tastes boiled down to one taste. Tamaru, taste and see that my wife's a good wife. That's it. But what does it take? Just taste and see. All the different things of a whole lifetime, all the different tastes that she gave me. That was all just to get me to really get close to her. But once I'm close to her, you're not even, and again, it could be lo aleinu that one spouse is very sick and is a physical drain. It's very rare, in the old generation at least, for them to say, well, you're sick, get out of here, I don't care for you anymore. It doesn't go. It says, and you could be suffering with them, and you have to take them to the doctor, you have to this, and it's costing money, and you're getting no benefits from this spouse anymore. They can't take care of themselves, they can't even give you nothing now. They give you absolutely nothing. You still want to be with them. And when they die, Chas v'shalom, you're crying. What are you crying for? It's an old beaten up jalopy, it doesn't work anymore. What are you talking about? But it doesn't make any sense. Why are you crying? It's a decree of the king, man. It's a taste that it's there. It's a unified taste that you can't taste it. Well, you don't have a sophisticated palate. Be married for 60 years, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. This is the exact same thing we're talking about with Hashem and us. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. And what Hashem, the way He created the world, He says, there's a world out there. The reason I created the world was for one reason. Tamaru, taste and see. Ki tov Hashem, that Hashem is good. That is the mitam. That is the source of all taste in this world. If it wasn't for that mitam of tamaru, taste and see, that Hashem is good, there'd be no reason for anything to have any taste in this world. But now that is the goal, so Hashem now creates a tremendous amount of tastes. And all those tastes are branches from a root that's strong and solid, a unified root of taste Hashem, and you'll see that it's all tasty and good. Now, how did Hashem want us to understand this? He wanted us to teach us, to understand how to deal with tastes. We live in a world, there's a million tastes. How do we live with tastes in a way that's a healthy way to live with taste? And what will be the unhealthy way to live with taste? Okay, so we have to explain. We said, for example, the snake. Snake sinned, right? Caused man to sin. What was his punishment? Everything tastes the same. What does it taste like? Dirt. Now, how did Hashem want everything to taste? Tamaru, taste and see. Kitov Hashem. Hashem is good. Why does Hashem put taste in everything in the world? Ultimately, to get you to that point to see taste, to see Hashem is good. What did the snake say to Adam and Chava? What did he say to them? He says, first of all, what did God say? God says, you could have everything you want in the Garden of Eden. You could taste everything. Right? Everything. It's a million fruits. Everything. Taste. I want you to taste. You taste them all, you'll come to see that I'm so good. But what did the snake say? The snake said, there's one thing he won't let you taste, the tree of knowledge. He's not going to taste the tree of knowledge. You know why? Because he doesn't want you to be powerful like him. And all of a sudden, Adam and Chava felt, if I don't have that taste, I don't have anything. Life isn't worth living. Wait, didn't the king tell you not to eat it? Wasn't there a mitam? Wasn't there a decree not to eat it? He says, but you know what? But if I can't have that taste, then all the tastes I have in this world are nothing. Now, how do you know this? The Torah says, where is Haman, the wicked Haman? Where is he alluded to in the Torah? Everything has to be alluded to in the Torah. So it says when God said to Adam, Hamin ha'etz, from this tree that I told you not to eat, did you eat? The word Hamin is the same letters as Haman. So you see, the Haman is hinted in there. So what is Haman?
This is the first test that Hashem.
Yes. So what does Haman have to do with the eating of the fruit of knowledge? The answer is, what do we know about Haman? Haman had everything a man could want. He was wealthy beyond belief. He had 10 sons. That's a big thing, right? He was second in command to the whole world. Anything missing? Does he have everything he wants? Does he have a lot of good taste? A lot of taste? A lot to taste? What did he not have? One thing he didn't have. What was that one thing? Mordechai would not bow down to him. Mordechai would not bow down to him. What did he tell his family? He told his family the day, the last time that Mordechai didn't bow down. He starts recalling all the good things he has. And I'm rich, and I have kids, and I'm the second. And all this isn't worth anything to me if Mordechai does not bow down to me. So what does that mean? A person gets so carried away with wanting to have everything that everything he has no taste. If I can't have that Jew bow down to me, then nothing's worth anything. That's what the snake was telling Adam and Chava. You have everything. You think you have everything. There's one thing you don't have. If you don't have that, it's like you don't have anything. To the point where you don't even listen to the king. The king tells you not to eat it. The king says, don't eat it. Why? That's it. There's a deeper taste. There's a deeper taste you have to follow. And they couldn't accept that. So Hashem says, now you snake, I'm going to punish you. You know what the punishment is? You're going to end up tasting everything the same anyway. But it's going to taste like dirt. At the end of the day, when you've tasted your wife for 60 years, at the end of the day, there ain't no special taste. But it's a good taste. It's a good taste. Even though it's not unique, it's not special, it's one standard taste. But that, if you live a whole life being a good person and you do what you're supposed to do, it's going to end up being one amazing taste that's not describable. And it's always going to taste the same now. Whatever your wife does for you, it's always going to taste the same. I said, I have a great wife. I have a great wife. I had a great wife. That's it. It's the same thing with Hashem. Hashem says, if you play the game properly, you're going to come to the point of taste and see Hashem is good. And that's the only taste. It's going to be a great taste. The snake says, no, I don't agree with you. He says, if you don't agree with me and you like all the other tastes, I'm going to make it not with me, but in your world, nothing is going to taste like anything. That's why we got that punishment. It's possible when a person gets so depressed with life, then they get no taste of anything. People get depressed. What happens when they get depressed? They want you to have something to eat. I don't want to eat. Even when they're eating, they don't taste the food. Why don't you go to a ball game? You like to go to ball games, right? And the guy's now depressed. I don't want to go to ball games. What do you mean? It was fun. Nothing gives me fun. You have people like that, no? Why? They give up a will to live.
Yeah.
They don't have a will to live. There's a million tastes. It all like the snake. It all tastes like sand. That's the negative. But the positive, it's meant to bring you, these many tastes are not meant to take you away from Hashem. It's to bring you close to Hashem. Here's the danger. Here's the danger in the variety of tastes. We live in a world, God's world is the world of truth. God's world is the world where everything is unified in one whole. It all comes back to Hashem. Everything is Hashem. Tamaru, taste and see, because Hashem is good. Hashem created a world with many, many different tastes. There is a tremendous benefit from this, but there is also a tremendous danger in this. This world is called the Alma de Piruda, the world of separation. Meaning to say, Hashem created the world in such a way that you could, if you're not careful, you could separate every different thing in this world and give it its own attributes and not connect it to God. And you can have this taste and that taste and this thing you want and that thing you want, all those things you have, and it looks, it comes on its own. It doesn't have a thick string attached to God that you can easily connect to. And you figure, this taste came by itself, this came by itself. It was a good year for the farmer. We have beautiful fruits, and you don't make brachas. You don't think about Hashem. It's the Alma de Piruda. It's the world. If you're not clever, it will just separate you from Hashem, and everything is its own thing. And that is the great danger that lies in this world. There's a great possibilities of beautiful things in this world, but there's a danger. There's free will choice. So the rabbis say, so how are you supposed to address pleasures in this world? Really, taste means pleasure. See what it is. Taste means pleasure. Mm-hmm. So God says, you know what, Jewish people, you're just coming out of Egypt. You are now free for the first time. You now can do what you want. I want to give you instructions. When you were a slave, you had nothing. Now you're free. You're going to be free for the rest of your lives. I want to give you the proper instruction how to deal with pleasures in this world. Because there's a lot of them out there. And you look at the Canaanites, all those pleasures are destroying them. When you believe that the pleasure is good for the pleasure itself, then you become a hedonistic person. And you become a slave to those pleasures. You become what we call a gashmis person, a coarse, physically focused person. And that's not what God created us. We're supposed to be in the image of God. When if you get used to physical pleasures, and that becomes your diet and routine, for the pleasure that it gives me only, you're creating a monster inside of yourself. That's what's happening, creating a monster. So Hashem says, okay, you are now going out of Egypt. I am now, for the next 40 years, going to train you how to look at pleasures. I'm going to train you. Now, what are we going to have? First of all, every pleasure they had during those 40 years, where did it clearly come from? Not just logically, but every day it came from the heavens. The manna came from the heavens. Do you need a bigger proof where it's coming from? Huh? Any doubt in your mind where it's coming from? If every day? Now really we have that with rain, but it takes so long from the rain till it finally grows, people can forget. Right? Now you can go to Sobeys and buy what you want, you don't even think it has to do with God, right? But every day you wake up, it comes right from Hashem. Can't save anything till the next day. Save it, turns into worms. Next day, comes straight from Hashem. For 40 years it was like that. Now, what does it taste like? Whatever you want it to taste like. Wow. It's amazing. Hashem is saying, I want you to know, every pleasure in this world comes from me. It doesn't come from anywhere else. And don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake. It will taste like anything you want. Every pleasure in this world. And if you're not thinking, it will taste like oil, it will taste like honey, it will taste like bread. But there's one more taste you have to learn how to taste. That's the taste of Shabbos. Now, 6 days a week, the manna fell. Every day. What happened on the 6th day? The Jews were very surprised. Something unusual happened on the 6th day. What happened on the 6th day?
Got double.
Double! Did Moshe tell them in advance? No. He didn't. He said, listen, every day, everyone's going to get a certain amount every day. 43 1/5 eggs. Right? An omer. Every day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, fine. I said, Friday, 86 2/5 eggs. What's going on with this double business? Moshe says, well, that's what I'm telling you. You see, because tomorrow it ain't going to come down. Tomorrow it ain't going to come down. So the rabbis say, so why didn't he at least tell them in advance it was going to be a double so they won't be surprised? He seemed to say it's always going to come down this amount, but it wasn't true. What are you telling him? Why did you tell every day you're going to collect the same amount? It's not true. On Friday you got double. It's a deep idea. If you get it fine, if you don't, it doesn't change the course of this class. But what happened? What happened when the manna did not come down on the Shabbos?
You collected twice as much as you had for Shabbos.
But what's going on the Shabbos? So Moshe says to them, a very interesting expression. He says on the Shabbos, I don't know if I'm going to find it now. He says, you will not find the manna in the field. That's the expression. I don't have the exact words right in front of me. He says, you will not, he says on the Shabbos, he says, Hayom, today on Shabbos, lo timtzei basara. You won't find the manna in the field. What's the deeper meaning? Because remember, the manna is food from heaven. It's food from heaven. So 6 days of the week, the food falls from the heaven and it comes down to our world. The 7th day, the manna from heaven stays in heaven. It doesn't come down into this world. There's still manna on the 7th day. There is manna on the 7th day. But you know where it is? It's up there. Meaning to say, the root, what's the whole point of all the manna? Is to taste one taste. Tamaru ki tov Hashem. Taste and see that Hashem is good. Now the truth of the matter is, what should have been, and from Moshe, who had a supreme intellect, he saw things so clearly. On Shabbos, you don't need anything. You don't need any tastes. Shabbos is like when you're married for 60 years already. I don't need anything anymore from my wife. If I get nothing, it's fine. You know why? Because I know she tastes good already. How does it taste? I can't describe it to you. Shabbos, God's saying, I saw, 6 days of the week you can get confused. Because 6 days a week you live in the world of separation. And that's why everything tastes different. And you could get confused and think it's coming from all different places. And why, on Shabbos, no manna is falling at all. Nothing's falling. Where's the manna? It's up there. That pristine source of it all. That tastes Hashem and He tastes good. Means you don't have to eat anything. On Shabbos, really, 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 you don't have to eat anything. The perfect Shabbos. And we go to the next world, where it's going to be eternal Shabbos, we ain't eating anymore. We're only digesting one thing in the next world. Tamaru, taste and see, ki tov Hashem, Hashem is good. You don't have to eat for that. You don't need any stimulus for that. So the message of the mun was, every day you're getting stuff, and you're going to be out of this world, human beings, and I want you to eat, because that's the challenge of life. To live in this world, even though it appears that things are different, and to still see that I'm the God that loves you. That's the challenge of life. 6 days a week, it's hard to feel that way. Come Shabbos, what happened is, really Moshe is saying, really, it should come down regular on Friday. One portion. Yeah? You eat it on Friday? What about Shabbos? Let's eat on Shabbos. You're eating, you're tasting Hashem on Shabbos. You have an extra soul. What do you have to eat food for on Shabbos? We're still not in that perfect world yet. We're not in the world the way Moshe saw the world. Remember, Moshe could stay on the mountain 40 days and not eat. Moshe is saying, Shabbos really? When we come to the ultimate Shabbos next world, who can think of eating? Who needs to eat to appreciate God? I don't need to eat to appreciate God. I don't need to have all these bells and whistles to appreciate my spouse anymore. But now that we're in this world, that's still we physically focused, so you got to get a double portion. You got to eat something on Shabbos. If we don't eat Shabbos, we're still going to be upset. That's the way we are. We're people. So here's a question. If the double portion fell on, why do we have 2 challahs at every meal? To remember the double portion, yeah? Wait a minute. The double portion didn't fall on Shabbos, it fell on Friday. We should have 2 loaves of bread on Friday, not on Shabbos. Tonight we should have 2 loaves. Tomorrow we should have 2 loaves. Tomorrow for breakfast we should have 2 loaves of bread. Why? Because the man fell double on Friday morning. No. We're eating the double on Shabbos. Why the double on Shabbos? Because the double means there's one part means the physical taste that tastes good. And then there's the second part, the part behind it. The second loaf is taste Hashem and you'll see He tastes good. That's what Hashem wants you to get Shabbos. So when they ate the manna, this is the point. When they ate the manna Monday through Friday, it tasted like the food they wanted it to taste like. Shabbos was a double taste. On the one hand, the body tasted, it tastes whatever they want to eat, even on Shabbos. But on Shabbos, they were exposed, their souls opened up a little bit. And their souls opened up and said, you know what, there's even a deeper taste to this manna. This taste tastes like Hashem. And that's the soul tasting the food now, not the body. Bodies have different tastes. In other words, an old man, a little baby, and a young boy, they're different stages of physical body, different tastes. A kid likes bread, an old person likes oil, a young baby likes honey. That's physical differences. But the spiritual difference, it's all one taste. It's a taste that Hashem tastes good. He wants to be with you. That's the taste He wants to have. And that was the lesson of the desert. To learn that the various tastes that exist in this world, and you can have every taste, there's one reason for all those tastes. These are all branches to get you back to me. And don't forget it. Now, just like anything, just like marriage, if we say, you know what, I want you to get married with the attitude of being already married 60 years, ain't gonna work. You know, she's not so good looking, she has a heart disease, she's not this and that, says, so why should I marry her? Well, in 60 years you're going to keep her that way. Yeah, but right now you're not going to sell it to me then. Same thing in Yiddishkeit. You're going to start off with guys, listen, you know what, Hashem's great, you don't have to enjoy this religion. Just forget it. I got to enjoy it. Hashem says, okay, you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to give you things to enjoy. Here's food. Here, have a steak. Tastes good? Yeah, really tastes good. Well, guess what? I gave it to you. Oh, well, maybe I want to talk to you. Because it's in my best interest, but I still want to talk to you. And then Hashem gives you mitzvahs. Why should this? Well, I'll explain to you. They really make a lot of sense. Ooh, it does make a lot of sense. You know, it's pretty logical. It's a pretty good idea to honor your father. I understand. It makes a lot of sense. If it makes sense, I enjoy doing it. What are you doing? You only do it for yourself. But Hashem says, that's fine. We could start this way. But I want you to know at the end, you got to get to that mitam. You got to get to that root. And I'm the root. Tamaru, taste and see. You're going to see Hashem is good. For what? Because Hashem is good. Finished. That's all there is to it. And that was the lesson of the desert. Every taste that will taste in the history of the world was in that manna. But don't forget, on Shabbos, you can taste more. There's a double portion. There's a second part you got to taste. You got to taste Hashem. So now, I'm running late. I got to finish fast. So now,
you're going to give me a question.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, does anybody ever thought that the manna was really only a spiritual thought?
No. It was real stuff.
What if it was just...
It wasn't. It was real. The Chumash clearly says it was real stuff. You could grind it up. You could pine it out. It was real stuff. Like spiritual snowflakes. But it was real. Snowflakes that fell, but had power in them. Physical attributes and strong spiritual attributes.
So it has to be physical.
Yes, it was for sure. It was a real thing.
Intelligence, knowledge.
It was a real thing, but it was also a godly thing, and it was much more clearly connected to Hashem than the food you have today. So now you can understand why they said they don't want the manna anymore. Because then some people said, you know what, God? I'd prefer to live with the disconnect. Because if I live with you, comes a lot of responsibility. Remember, it's the decrees kings. And some say, I don't want the king's decrees. I don't want you to keep reminding me that it all comes back to you. I'd rather not be reminded of that. And some says, fine, you want to do that? Let's see what's going to happen. So you bring down quails, and what happened? They ate till they stuffed their noses and killed themselves. All right. So that's the deal. There's people who can choose not to want to find out that Hashem is the one that's giving it to them. So now, what's our avoda of eating? What does Hashem want us to do? So every day of the week, how are we supposed to look at food? Are we supposed to taste food every day of the week? Yes, it should taste good. How much should you eat? Now, very interesting. Look at the word ta'am. This is ta'am. Take the letters and reverse them. Mem, ayin, tes spells ma'at. Ma'at. What's ma'at mean? A little bit. A little bit. Ta'am, taste, reverse, ma'at, a little. A little taste. What does it mean? When we're 6 days a week, you're on a diet. What's a diet? Yeah, you want to have a piece of steak? Fine. A small piece of steak. You want to have some bread? Enough to make an after blessing, a kazayas. Enough, half a piece of bread. Eat a little. Why? Because don't become a physical person. Don't get so wrapped up with the taste as it's separated from Hashem. During the 6 days a week, it's hard to feel the connect to Hashem. It's in the world of separation. There's a million different tastes out there. You're going to forget about Hashem. And you're going to want to have a full portion, a full amount. You want to have a lot. I want a lot. I want a lot of steak, a lot of meat, a lot of vacations, a lot of this, a lot of that. You become totally fit. And that's what you see in this world today. That's how Greece becomes Greece. I want to have every place. I don't want to pay for it. You destroy yourselves and forget about God. So during the week, the ta'am is ma'at. On Shabbos, you don't have to be that concerned Because on Shabbos, it's the time where you can also taste Hashem too. And therefore on Shabbos you have the ability, once you've given up control of the world, and now you're entering the world of Shabbos where all the pieces of the puzzle come together. That's what Shabbos is all about. Every day of the week, God created, in the beginning of creation, Gemara says, for example, the first day of the week, God created 10 things. I don't want to get into what it is. He created 10 things. Every day of the week, He created a lot of things. On Shabbos, He only created one thing. What did He create? What was the world missing by the time Shabbos came?
Yeah.
No, we had man.
Oh,
It's Friday. Shabbos. Shabbos.
Yeah.
We're missing one thing. Rashi says, Menucha. Menucha literally means rest. But we'll see in a minute what it really means. So on Shabbos, He created Menucha. He only created one thing. Menucha. Now, Menucha means rest. Doesn't make any sense. You don't have to create rest. Really, Menucha is not a creation in and of itself, the rabbi says. What is Menucha? Menucha is taking all the different branches and bringing them back to their root. That's what Hashem did. In other words, after 6 days of creation, you saw 1,000,000 different things. Where's this all coming from? We have to rein it all in now. Let's take everything that's out there and let's break that separation and let's just attach all the branches to the root. And that's Menucha. That's the goal. The goal of all the separated stuff is to get connected to Hashem. Hashem created only one thing on Shabbos, Menucha. To bring it all back to Hashem. So when you bring it all back to Hashem, then what's the halacha? The halacha is taste a little bit. You can have a lot of tastes. But again, it's not a lot of food, a lot of tastes. You could have, they said the Baba Sali, they would prepare for him 36 different salads for Shabbos. 36 different salads. You think he ate so much, the Baba Sali was a scrawny stick, right? He probably had one leaf from the salad, 36 different tastes. A taste, just a taste, a chazich. Why? He says, you know what? Because I want to take as much of this world and bring it back to Hashem. I want to bring it back to the real taste. Come and taste that Hashem is tastes good. So there's a difference how you eat on Monday, Sunday through Friday. Sunday through Friday, the less you taste, the better. Because in the world of separation, it's going to get you into trouble. We're not saying you shouldn't eat. You have to be healthy, whatever. You know what you eat? Exactly the way a dietitian would tell you to eat. And we know we don't like the way dietitians tell us to eat. The dietitians say, eat your greens, eat your this, eat your that. Don't, not that, thick, rich, sugary sauces, all those, no. Just eat, healthy, vinaigrette, whenever things don't taste well to my wife's, how's it taste? I say it tastes very dietetic, it tastes very healthy. So it tastes very healthy. And it is, because if it's bland, it means she didn't put all the fattening stuff, so it was healthy. Right? So during the week, eat healthy. Which means to say, minimize the pleasure of this, because it's going to run away from you. You can't control it. Ma'at, tam ma'at. On Shabbos, the tam is a little different. Take as many tastes as you want, because you're going to be focused. If that taste is focusing to get you to Hashem, that's a good taste. There's good tastes and bad tastes. A bad taste is a taste that's going to get you to run away from Hashem. A good taste is one that's getting you close to Hashem. When is it a good time to taste? On Shabbos, it's a very good time to taste. Because if you've given up control of the whole world, and you're bringing it all back to Hashem, then you can bring all those tastes to Hashem and say, Hashem, is more examples of how much you love me. And that's the whole idea of Friday. Friday is Erev Shabbos. Friday is a taste of the world to come. It's a taste of the Shabbos. So, there's eating on Shabbos. Now, really eating on Shabbos, really, there'll be a day we're not going to eat on Shabbos. But we're not there yet. We're human, we still got to eat on Shabbos. But Erev Shabbos, in the theoretical sense, is to taste the taste of Shabbos. What is the taste of Shabbos? The taste of Shabbos is Tamaru, taste and see how good Hashem is. That's what Shabbos is. Now, it's an interesting halacha. I think it's a little technical, but it's only 2 minutes. There's a principle in Talmud called Ta'am Ke'ikar. The taste is like the main thing. I'll give you an example. A Nazir is not allowed to drink wine.
What?
A Nazir, a Nazirite, cannot drink wine. Cannot drink wine. If he drinks wine, he gets lashed. He can't even have the appeal of a grape. He can't have that. What if you take a glass of water and dump in a bunch of grapes and just let them sit in the water for 24 hours? Take the grapes out, and then you drink the water. What's the water going to taste like?
Grape juice.
Well, it'll have a grape taste. You didn't squish the grapes. You took the grapes out. There's no grapes in the water. It's 100% water. But you left 50 grapes in the water for a whole day. You take it out, sift it out. It's going to taste like grape. It's going to be a grape water. What if a Nazarite drinks that? The law is he gets lashed. We didn't even have any wine. He says a rule. Ta'am, taste. Ke'ikar is like the main thing. What's in the water? There's water, but a taste of wine. A taste of wine is wine. That's the law. It's a Jewish law. A taste of the item. That's why, for example, you can't use a milchig pot to cook fleischiks in a milchig pot. There's still a taste of the meat in the fish, in the milk, in the pot. Why can't they use a milchig pot? You just fried cheese and onions in a pot, wash it, 100% clean. Now I want to fry a piece of meat. You can't. Why not? Because in the pot is the taste of the cheese. Whatever it means, it's tam ke'ikar. The taste is like the main thing. So what does tasting mean? Tasting means I took a little, but taste, like the primary means I took a little, but it's like I took the main thing. I took a little, it's like I took the main thing. So on Shabbos, it's a mitzvah to what? Taste the Shabbos food. It's a mitzvah to taste the Shabbos food. Shabbos food is supposed to taste like Tamaru Kitov Hashem. Go and taste and see, you're going to see how good Hashem is. When you eat on Shabbos, Shabbos itself is only to eat and taste and see how good Hashem is. So what are you doing on Friday? Friday, you're getting a taste of the Shabbos. Getting a taste of that. So now what you're doing, you're eating the foods that have the various tastes. You're still in the weekday, but you only take a little bit. You're eating already different on Friday than you eat the rest of the week. And the rest of the week you had a whole piece of steak, you had a whole pot of cholent. Friday, I'm just taking a little taste now. Just taking a little taste. A little taste of this. I'm tasting every little thing, just a little. Why? Because I want that ta'am. That's a little taste, but it's like the main thing that's going to be on Shabbos. It's the Shabbos food. It's not taking Friday food. You don't eat the food Friday, you're not going to eat on Shabbos. It's the food you're going to eat on Shabbos. Because it's essentially eating food on Shabbos means directly tasting how good Hashem is. Because you've cut yourself off from all the physical focus of the world. Once you've been able to do all the other things that Shabbos requires you to do, and you now forget about that physical world, there's only one reality, it's Hashem. If you clearly know that that's the only reality, it's Hashem. All my work is done. He took care of all my work. I don't have any work to do afterwards. Nasa v'nishma, I'll wait and see how Hashem's going to make it develop. Shomer, there's all these things we talked about the last 3 weeks. And when I give, make chal and I give, I'm not losing, I'm still perfect. All these things we talk about. Now you come in and say, you're going to eat food on Shabbos. How much you got to eat? I really don't have to eat anything, but since I'm a physical, I have to eat something. I'll have a taste on Shabbos, but now I'm only tasting Tamar Uki Tov Hashem, the taste of Shabbos. And that's why they tell the story where the great rabbi made a cholent, made food on Shabbos. The Caesar came in unexpectedly to his house on Shabbos. He says, wow, this food tastes great. He says, you know what, you got the recipe? Sure, I'll bring my cooks to you on Wednesday. We'll make the same thing. Makes it on Wednesday. The Caesar says it didn't taste so good. He said, of course it doesn't taste good. What do you mean? It's missing a spice. He says, what spice is missing? I'll get it. You can't get it. What do you mean I can't get it? No, the spice is called Shabbos. Only those who keep the Shabbos will taste that taste. A goy can't taste that. Why? Because he doesn't give up control of the world on Shabbos. The goy cannot taste it. I guess when the goy went to the rabbi's house, in the sphere of the rabbi's influence, maybe he could feel it. But in his own house, he can't feel it. When Caesar feels he runs the whole world, he's not going to taste Tamaru Kitov Hashem. He's not going to taste that Hashem is good. On Shabbos, you give up the whole world. So what are you tasting? You're tasting the mitam, the deeper taste. The taste that Hashem is good.
It's meat deeper.
From the deepest part. So therefore, what are you doing on Friday? You want to taste the dafka, that Shabbos food. That you can't wait. You're not going to wait until Shabbos. And that's the pasuk. We started off. Tohameha Chaim Zochu. That's the musaf. Those who taste it will merit life. It means taste the Shabbos. How do you taste it? The Shabbos has a taste. What's the taste of Shabbos? What's it called? Tamaru. Taste and see. Kitov Hashem. Hashem is good. That is the one singular taste that every taste comes from. And that's what you taste on Shabbos. You got to be on a level. You remember, you just can't walk in off the street and say it's Shabbos. You got to prepare yourself to taste and see. That's Shabbos eating. It's the Erev Shabbos. You want to have a taste of what that taste is all about. Taste that. And that's ultimately what Luzzatto says. Luzzatto says, what's the whole purpose of life? The whole purpose of life is to bask in the pleasure of God. And he says, so what if you ask a Jew, why do you do mitzvahs? So I want to bask in the pleasure of God. He says that's still serving yourself and not serving God, because you want the pleasure of that. He says ultimately the goal of all your service is not even for the taste of tasting the pleasure of God, but it's just for the honor of God, for God's honor, because God told me to do it. That's why I'm doing it. Because you have to totally nullify yourself to this idea. At the end of the day, God is the king. Shabbos is also called a king. You surrender before the king, and what's the reason? There's no reason for surrendering before the king. Why do you want to be allowed to be with God? Why do you want your wife after 6 years? What for? To be. Same thing with Hashem. That's what Hashem wants. So therefore these pleasures were meant initially, when we're young and unsophisticated and romantic, I have to have reasons to love God. We'll give you a lot of reasons to love God. Chicken, steak, this, that, success. Lots of reasons to love God. Like Avram, a tour of the world of chesed. But then it comes to a point where, can't we get past that now? Can't we get to the root of it, the meat, Tom? Can we get to Hashem? Not because you're going to enjoy Hashem, just because you're there. He's there. He's everything. That's Shabbos. That's the days of the week. So how are you going to know if you succeeded? Very simple. Always a litmus test comes there. Now that's when they say you don't gain any food from the Shabbos you eat. It's only this kind of food. This kind of food that you're only having a little taste. You're not going to get weight for that. But to say you're not going to gain weight, if you're going to eat lots of food, you're for sure going to gain weight. But what's the way you can test if you've eaten right? After a big Friday night meal, and if after a meal, and we're not talking about the meal ends at 11:30. We're talking about the meal ends out at 8 o'clock. And you're exhausted and you're tired, you go right to bed, then you know you weren't tasting the Shabbos. Any food that makes you feel like you have to go to sleep right afterwards means you're just tasting the food. You weren't tasting Hashem. Because if you taste Hashem and you're finished with a meal, you don't go to sleep. You go take out a siddur, Tehillim, and you say Tehillim for half an hour. You take a Gemara, you learn Gemara, you take a Chumash, you learn Torah, you do something, you sing Zmiros. Whatever. You get the Chevra together, you sing Smiros, you thank Hashem, you say stories of tzaddikim. Who goes to sleep right after they had such a meal? After you tasted how good Hashem is, you go to sleep? You don't do that. Right? You have a good meal with your wife. Right? A romantic meal with your wife. You go to sleep? At least talk to her. If not more. Because you tasted how good it is. So who goes to sleep after you taste how good it is? So that's the litmus test. To know if you're really eating properly. So therefore, but therefore, before you eat the Erev Shabbos food, you say those three words. Is what? Tohameha Chaim Zochel. Those who taste it will merit life. Now you understand what kind of life we're talking about. A life, a long life. It's a life where you've tasted Hashem. If you taste Hashem, there's nothing better than that in life at all. So that's why Mirz Hashem. If you could try just with one dish. Even though, I used to, they said certain things wouldn't do everything. I say, the best thing your wife's going to make for Shabbos, whatever that is for you, start with one. So, 3 o'clock, after you're ready for Shabbos, you go over, it smells so good. Take out a little piece of the fish, a little piece of the kugel, and first you say, Tohameha Chaim Zochel. Those who taste it will merit life. And I hope that when I taste this, even though maybe my neshama isn't so holy and I don't have all these esoteric thoughts, but one thing at least I know I should be feeling, that this good, and then you take a little taste, go, this is just a taste. This is a taste of the ikar, the main. The main is Hashem. And if this tastes so good, you can imagine, if it comes to a point where I would love Hashem just for loving Hashem, this is what it's reminding me for. That's how you bring in the Shabbos. And then when you have the meals on Shabbos, there'll be different kind of meals. And you'll mamish feel so much closer, and you'll taste how good it is to be with Hashem.